What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Fit, Healthy, and most of all, Happy podcast. I'm your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach KG, and I'm in the house.
This is Motivation Monday. Let's get fired up, answer your questions, share some quotes we love, and talk about our journey. We're going to waste no time and get into it. So thank you for tuning in with us today. As always, we start with our first question out of the mailbag. And the first question we have this week is, how can I improve my gut health? I always hear people talking about it online, but I am not sure where to start. And this is a killer question because gut health is all the new rage. And it's absolutely amazing seeing the science of what your gut health is and what it's actually linked to. It's actually been shown that poor gut health could lead to you being more likely to be depressed, which is pretty crazy. But before you go blaming everything on your gut health or your current level of fitness or whatnot, just know this is a very, very new position to study, and it's incredibly complex. And there's like trillions and trillions of little components that make up your gut health. But there are some uniform changes you can make to actually improve it. So we're going to jump into that now. Right now, it's something that intrigues me. I do just find there's a lot of people being a little malicious with this topic because it's very sexy for me to say, take my supplement, do my 3-step process. I'm going to fix your gut health and I'm going to fix all your issues. It sounds good and it's appealing, so don't be sucked into that. But I can promise you with certainty, there's no gimmicks with these tips we're about to give you.
Yeah, and what's amazing about this question is that every time we get answered something like this that's very well asked, I feel like a lot of my answers often are the same. And what I mean by this is if someone says, hey, I want to increase my metabolism, a lot of the answers within nutrition will be very similar. Last week, we talked about how to lose fat without dieting. Some of the answers will overlap. If someone says, hey, I want to increase my energy levels, a lot of these answers are very common and you'll see them over and over again. And I think where a lot of people struggle is when it comes down to being healthy, when it comes to improving your, hormone levels, your metabolism, your gut health, your energy. Everyone's looking for a specific thing that is a magic thing, right? And they're always missing out on the things that are right in front of them and that are very easy to do. So a lot of this will be nutrition based. And first off, just eating a diverse range of foods makes such a big difference, right? There's some people who follow meal plans and you'll see them really start to struggle on their journey. They may lose a little bit of weight, but because they're so stuck on having like the same stuff over and over again, it unfortunately doesn't exactly help them. Even just consuming more fiber has been linked to helping improve your gut health drastically, staying hydrated. So obviously just drinking a lot of water, managing stress, as well as just getting enough sleep. And then one of the last things, and these are like the most important things to consider day to day, would just be limiting processed food and sugar, right? So these are very simple things to do. A lot of it is just if I were to say, hey, eat a balanced diet, hit your protein, start to eat more healthy whole foods, stay away from garbage, limit your alcohol consumption and caffeine and keep an eye on that, you should be in a really, really good spot. And then there's a couple other smaller things you can integrate day to day that's just not bigger picture, like increasing your fiber, eating healthier, but stuff like fermented foods definitely have benefits such as yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha that also just introduces beneficial bacteria to your gut. Prebiotic foods such as garlic, onions, leeks, bananas, and asparagus. And then last but not least, probiotics, which is simply stuff that you can get from, yogurt, essentially. That's why we're big on yogurt. There's, even when it comes down to our breakfast, when you actually look at everything considered, it's not just eating that breakfast for fun. Like there's a lot of benefits. The probiotics, when we have blueberries and stuff, there's antioxidants included. So there's a big difference, right? And these are the things that can help you make a big change over time and help you with some improvements. So yeah, that's going to be my long answer. I know I just gave a lot of different things to consider, and I'm sure Josh has a bit more, but that's what's on the top of my head.
Yeah, I like that component of addition of healthier eating as opposed to just cleansing or removing or detoxing. With gut health and the gut in general, a lot of people will try to push like gut detox type supplements, and most often what those detox supplements are, they just give you a ton of fiber and a ton of caffeine, and it basically just makes you have diarrhea for days, and it's like just such a waste of money. But it sounds sexy once again. You're like, oh, I'm cleansing it out, I'm going to start anew. But your body is very complex and very resilient. That's why even if you eat low grade food or you switch your diet away from healthy whole foods, your body is quite able to adapt, and thank goodness for that, or we'd be sick all the time. So it's amazing how resilient our stomach is. And instead of doing these drastic one-off measures that really aren't going to improve anything outside of fasting. Like fasting does have some interesting scientific benefits. I don't utilize it myself, but it is interesting to see some benefits of it in science. And once again, I think also there can be drawbacks, because I know if I were to do a 24-hour fast or longer, I very likely would just want to eat so much more food to make up for it. It would really affect my training. So I personally don't dabble in that. What I do try to do is limit snacks and have bigger gaps between meals to let my body digest, so it's not always working through food. But like I was saying, instead of these drastic things, fasting, gut cleanses, these weird type things, instead just generally aiming to improve your diet over time can have such benefits. So Kyle listed some really powerful foods. Like I love kombucha, and I actually think that's a fun substitute maybe for your pop or your alcohol at night. Sometimes I'll even put kombucha in a wine glass just for fun. It makes it feel fun. It kind of has that more intense taste, and you can get both sides of the benefits of there, getting a lot of healthy bacteria. I made the habit of switching over, just eating Greek yogurt every morning, eating some berries, eating good seeds, chia, hemp. And by doing that day after day, I'm further improving my gut as well. I'm getting a fantastic probiotic in there, which is amazing. I'm getting great seeds. I'm getting great berries and nutrients. And like the consistency of me doing that day after day for days, weeks, months, years is going to stack up way, way more than trying to do any drastic immediate measure. So with gut health, as sexy and appealing as it is, the best thing you can do is, like Kyle said, fill yourself up with whole foods, make good decisions, aim to consistently do better, and really limit the things that are really tough on your system, because that is where you're going to do a lot of damage, especially if you're really like abusing alcohol, like if you're getting really drunk or getting sick or something along those lines from it. That's going to take a big toll on your gut health, right? And that's where you could eat good meals all the time, but if you're destroying yourself every weekend, or you're just eating yourself into oblivion one day of the week, like you're going to do a lot more damage. So really change that mindset from anything drastic or any small quick fix to really looking at your habits and gradually improving your nutrition, your diet as a whole. And that's something obviously myself and Kyle are really passionate about, because if you want to be fit and healthy for life, it needs to become part of your lifestyle. Fitness and health can't just be something you do seasonally or for a couple of days of the week. It's something you need to aim to improve over time. And I can assure you, as uncomfortable as that is, your body will adapt into it, and you'll come to want healthy foods more. You'll really love how great you feel. You'll aim to try to cook more and more better foods. And oftentimes what's cool, even being in Florida, we've had people coming down to visit, some clients, some friends, which is amazing. It's a really great experience to be able to utilize that. They're all really fit, healthy people. And my brother, who's a coach for us, who absolutely crushes it. And it sometimes people will be on vacation, they'll make the intentional choice to let a little bit more loose, maybe have a couple fun dinners, some good foods. And it's really cool seeing how they're like, oh, I can't wait just to get back to healthy eating. Or maybe after that big meal the next day, they'll just crush it with really good eating. So it's just one of those things that you can aim to improve and gradually get better with. Don't just all of a sudden go to Whole Foods and spend 10 times the money you should, just buying all these Whole Foods and depriving yourself of everything you love, only to binge out on it on the weekend. So I know I took this question and pivoted a bit, but it's something I'm passionate about and was excited to share.
Yeah, there's just so much to consider here, and I like everything that was said there. And it's not for everyone, but I will say the majority of people who ask specific questions relating to gut health, hormones, and metabolism, if I were to just throw a couple questions back at you, such as your water intake, your fiber intake, your whole food intake, your sugar intake, and all that stuff, like most of the people who are struggling with this stuff won't have the right answer for that. They'll probably be over consuming in the wrong areas and under consuming in the right areas. So just something to consider before you, like Josh said, like search online on Amazon or whatever site for like this magic, pill or formula or supplement. And I think a lot of people just don't really look themselves in the mirror the way they should and be like, oh, I have been eating out every day for the last little bit, and I could be making better choices. And yeah, it's just for most people, if you're just even gut health related, looking to make those changes before doing anything drastic, it's probably that smaller thing that you're neglecting. And yeah, hopefully that makes sense and helps you in some way or another.
Yeah, so we hope that helped you. And if you're wondering, hey, like where can I start? Perhaps try to incorporate one of these fun foods, try to maybe remove a vice you have in your day with something healthier, and just start to bridge from there. And like I said, what's cool is you'll not only see the change like aesthetically and visually, but you'll feel it physically. When you eat really good food and you just feel satiated and happy and strong and not lethargic, it is a motivating feeling, and it will actually encourage you to continue to eat more. Like I'd be really hesitant to have like a big Denny's breakfast and then go to the gym. Like the thought of it just kind of makes me feel like greasy and like I'm not going to feel my best, where I feel really good having my hearty breakfast because I know it's going to sit in my stomach for that workout super nice. It's giving me the energy I need to really crush and complete that workout. So like Kyle said as well, look at the big themes here. Track your food, constantly aim to improve your position of nutrition. And it's not to say you can't ever have something fun. Like I said, our stomach, our guts are resilient. It's amazing what they can withstand. So be really interesting to keep an eye on this science and see how this develops. And I fact checked myself, and it actually shows there are more than 100 trillion microbiome in your gut, which is pretty crazy. So it's a very complex thing, but it is cool to take note of. And doing these things as a whole will improve it, make your stomach feel tighter, and really put you in a good position. But now we're going to go ahead and jump into our quotes, which is really exciting. And my quote is, if you fake bravery when you're scared, that is bravery. Motivation is the same way. If you fake motivation when you aren't indeed motivated, you doing the thing is motivation. So I thought this was so cool because that concept of bravery really got to me. It's true. Like if you are scared, you're like, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to get in front of it. I'm going to get done what I need to get done. You're acting brave. And we won't always feel motivated. And it's very rare I feel motivated. Like most days, I guarantee myself, Kyle, anyone would be super tempted to be like, oh, I'm going to eat whatever I want, lay around, go to the beach. But like, I know those things will have a cost. Just the same if I'm up really late, my kids are giving me a bad sleep and I have way too much caffeine during the day, that's going to help me get through that day. But I'm kicking that can down the road and I'm actually going to make myself feel worse. I'm going to have a worse sleep that night and I'm just going to continue to cause that hurt and feel worse. And even the example too of, if you're feeling sad and you're eating a massive food at night, like a pizza or something like that, and you order this pizza because you're like, I want to feel good. You'll feel good for 5 minutes while you're eating the thing. The next day you'll feel spilt over. You'll be like, why'd I waste this money? You won't feel your best. You'll feel sick. Your stomach will be rumbling. So doing those things that you don't want to do will just make you feel so much worse. So on the inverse, when you do the things that you don't want to do that you know will make you feel better, those are the positions where you can see great change. And with motivation, we always say you can't expect it, but it's great when you can find it. And I think you can build your ability to find it more often. There's that quote, the harder I work, the luckier I get. And I think that's such a great thing, very similar to motivation. When I wasn't working out and I wasn't doing anything, I had no intention to go to the gym or be motivated to go to the gym. Now that I do it and I do it regularly, people be like, how are you so solid? I actually just got a message, funny enough, yesterday from someone in my family saying like, I don't know how you do it. I go once or twice in the week and I feel so wrecked and sore. I'm not able to do it for like another week or so. And I'm like, well, I've just normalized it. I've reworked my standard to be, I go consistently. And because I've acclimated to that, I get less sore and it's easier for me to be motivated. Also, I have more experience. I have friends there. I like my situation. It becomes my time. So you can see how it's easier for me to find that motivation when I don't even have it. So what I'm getting at in those moments when you don't feel motivated, fake it. Say, I'm going to kill the gym today. This is going to be such a good workout. When you wake up in the morning and you feel like it's going to be a horrible day, say, today's going to be a great day. I'm going to find something that's going to be good. Do the things that you know will build you up. Eat good meals, make good decisions, do those small things and just act that part. And that's just as good as you being motivated to naturally do them. So when I heard that, I really thought that was cool. And once again, when you do that enough, you build discipline, which is the real secret weapon. So that's my quote for this week.
Yeah, I honestly, I have to fight myself all the time. Like, it's funny, even within dieting and like making the right decisions, a lot of people will be like, oh, you know all this stuff. And like, yeah, you have all this discipline. It must be so easy. It's like, sometimes I'm sitting there, I'm like looking at my fitness pal and I'm like, like, I want to go overboard. I want to just deviate from like what my goals are and what I'm striving for, but I have to consistently catch myself. That even goes for the gym, right? There's times I'm like, I don't want to do leg day today. I don't want to do this walk, but I'm going to do it anyways. And I think that's where you're separated from the person who gets like okay results and like does the journey for a little bit, and the person who does it for the rest of their life and sees consistent, incredible progress. That's the real big difference maker. So for today, my quote, I really like this one. It is, don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. When you let go of your expectations, when you accept life as it is, you're free. To hold on to it is to be serious and uptight. To let go is to lighten up. So this just got me really thinking about how often a lot of us focus on little things that looking back, you'll never remember, or it'll never make an impact on your entire life. And I think it just really stresses you out, holds you back on your journey. It just really catches up to you. And I've been guilty of this as well. Like, an example of a speech I was listening to was just like a flat tire. Like, it's so easy to just think like your life is over and, just like complain and tell everyone about it. And I just think one of the greatest practices you can incorporate into your life is just like paying attention to what you can control and what's in front of you, and also what's most important, right? If every day, if someone, I've heard numerous from the most successful people in the world. I hear them talk in audiobooks and podcasts, and even I'll never forget Dean Graziosi, this one guy. He was like, yeah, one day someone brought the wrong thing to me at my a dinner that I was at, and I was just like, cool, I'm gonna have it, right? And once again, that's a little bit more extreme, and it is what it is. But it's like he said he's not bothered by things. He just like kind of allows things to like not get to him, especially if it's like very small and doesn't make a big difference. Now, obviously you can choose to use this how you want, but there's even a gentleman in the gym today like just complaining about so much, and I was just kind of like, I don't really care. Like, I'm just focused on my workout. I don't want to let things bother me. Like, just this will, if I allow it to, it'll ruin my day. It'll allow it to compound. I'm going to be frustrated. I won't feel my best for this podcast for my clients. So like, just push it to the side, take a few deep breaths, and just keep moving. So don't let the small stuff get to you. Easier said than done, but I believe this is one of the greatest things you can add into your life.
Yeah, even when adversity comes up, I love Jocko Willink's point of good. We spoke about it before, and it's like, oh, I'm sick. And it's like, good. This is my chance to rest, to eat healthier, and to tidy up around the house if I'm missing the gym today. Or my car broke down. Good. I get the chance to walk to the gym today. This is going to be intense. Like, when you can reframe that and look for that positive and the negative and overcome, like Kyle said, just the desire to complain and harp on what's out of our control, the more we can reframe it to what's in our control. And there's always silver linings. I even said to Kyle today, like, I've started doing some movements I haven't programmed for myself in a while that I've overlooked. But when I hurt my shoulder, I kind of had to test what I could do. And I was trying different movements and seeing what felt good. I'm like, wow, I forgot how much I loved this movement. Like, an example was single leg press. Because my shoulder didn't work, I was training legs hard those first couple of weeks when I was just swinging my arms around effectively and I couldn't lift anything. It was really cool to have that focus and emphasis of training my legs. And I'm like, even when I did it, I'm like, the positive here is I can actually use this as an opportunity to help other people who will dislocate their shoulders. I'm going to make a really good video on this. So when you can look at it that way, it's always hard in the moment. But I think when you look at that long scope of thinking, it goes such a long way. And I think sicknesses is such another great example. I had a ton of my clients today, this week, in their check-ins tell me they were sick. And I was sick too. Like, last podcast, I was dying. My nose was running. I was trying really hard to like blow my nose. There's probably quite a lot of edits in there, but it was still a killer podcast. But it's funny, a lot of people are sick. And when you're sick, all you want is to feel better. It feels like the world's ending. Your results are gone. It's impossible. But it's cool being a coach too, because I'll see people get injuries. I'll see them go through loss or hardship or job change or whatever it may be. And there are these things that in the moment feel like they're wrecking you and they're crippling and they're impossible to succeed through. But then I see them go through it. We work together, we get through it, and they get to new heights and they blow past that. And they look back and they're like, yeah, it's funny how this thing that I thought was like the end of the world really wasn't a big deal. It was like a blip. So I think it's really important, like Kyle was saying, you have that mindset of like, I can get through this. What's this big picture? And when you zone out, it's so much better. And even for me, I'm a bit of a worrier. So if you're a worrier, you can't overthink your way out of overthinking. Like, it's just not going to work. It's not going to be a thing. So if you're overthinking and you're thinking, even for me with my shoulder, I'm like, what if it's never the same? What if I can't do my rehab right? What if I can't lift? And instead I'm like, I'm going to stop worrying about this. And this is something I'm doing a lot. I'm like, I'm not going to worry about what I can't worry about. When the time comes, I'll figure it out. And if you just have the attitude that no matter what comes in front of you, you're going to figure it out. You're going to navigate it. And it's a lot easier when you have great people around you that you can crutch on and get advice from and ask and be there to motivate you and just build you up. And even for me, when I'm lifting lightweight and I see Kyle crushing heavyweight, I'm like, I want to get back to being able to do that. And it's very motivating. It's very encouraging. But have that attitude of no matter what, you'll figure it out. You'll burst through it. And that's my thoughts this week and kind of where I'm at in my journey. So it's great to see strength returning. I'm getting close. I'm getting better. I'm sure by 3 months, it's been 6 weeks now, I'll be right back at 100. So that's the goal.
Yeah. And even with that note, like after seeing Josh operate with fixing his shoulder over the last month, like he can sit there, worry, not do anything, tell everyone about it, or he can do what he's been doing, which has been like spending those extra few minutes, doing some rotator cuff work before each push day. I've been adding that into because my shoulders have needed some work, and it's a good excuse for me to get back to it and, use that time every morning, going into the backyard with his band, doing his stuff, getting it all sorted and worked out. And it's like, that's what's in control. Like, that's what he can do to be able to fix that. So that's what's most important. It's not about the other things that you can complain and worry about and, talk about. It's like, hey, what can I do? And I think a lot of people struggle with this because it is more exciting and like, I don't know. I think a lot of people also like to complain and just, it's tough out there. But yeah, that's my add-on for Josh's point. Last thing, just very quickly, I just want to say, when it comes to changing your life, oftentimes you have to subtract something. So let's just say you're someone who makes excuses. You got to get rid of those excuses. You're someone that sleeps in a lot. You got to stop hitting that snooze button. You're someone who overeats, you binge eat, you're not doing anything good for yourself nutritionally. You just got to stop doing that. So I have it written down here. What's the one thing I need to do to change my life? Usually it's something I have to stop doing. So just a reminder, I think that can help you in so many different ways. And it's something that I had in my notepad today that I want to talk about.
That's a great thought. I mean, it could be staying up. It could be overeating at night. It could be skipping the gym. It could be giving in to temptation way too easy. So that's a great question. So think about that for a sec, and hopefully you're able to implement something from it. All right, now we're going to jump into this week's client shout out, and I'm really pumped to shout out my client, Lauren. So I knew Lauren for a couple of years. Lauren crushed it. She was like the pinnacle of fitness for a lot of people. A lot of people looked up to her. I knew her from the gym. She crushed it. She worked her way through that gym to being a personal trainer and just being an amazing personal trainer at the gym. I really noticed how fantastic of a job she did, how much she cared about her clients. It was great seeing her progress. And then she reached out and she's like, I think I can push it further. I know I'm capable, seeing more results, seeing more development. And I love that attitude because complacency is so dangerous. And me and Kyle, as we get older, we're really analyzing where are we complacent? Where am I resting on my laurels? And where can I improve? Where can I do more? A lot of the times we think we're happy with the level we're operating at, but we have so much more to give, so much more potential. And the worst thing you can do is just accept where you're at and really just enter your demise from there. So I really love to see Lauren just say, I'm ready to turn it up and take it to another level. And she came in eating about 1,000 calories, give or take, just didn't have a huge appetite, had some good muscle, but we were actually able to drive her up to about 3,000, increase her workout intensity, really optimize her training routine and give her the accountability and support to see change. And from this photo, you can just see there's a ridiculous amount of new muscle. Her stomach looks tighter and leaner, more of like a V-taper look to the physique. And it was amazing to see how much leg muscle she put on. So we were able to lean her out and gain muscle at the same time during this process, which is killer. We went through several phases to achieve this, but it's absolutely amazing what you can do when you can optimize, when you look and dream bigger. So go check out this photo because this is a great example. If you think like you're kind of happy, but if you want to go from good to great, like I would love to do that for you. And a lot of the time it comes down to optimization, being on a better routine, being in a better nutritional program, having a coach to navigate you through some of the uncertainties that can pop up and to really force you into this game plan and to force you when you want to throw in that towel, to throw it back at you and say, you can do this. We're going to push for more. And what's so cool is when you reach these new levels, it's way easier to stay at them. And perhaps you've wondered how other people are so elite or how they operate at that level. A lot of the times that secret is a coach, someone getting in there to optimize it, just like I did here. So I'd love to do that for you as well. If you want to learn more about my coaching, click the first link in the description down below. We'd be happy to work with you one-on-one so you can get your dream body and go from good to great. And shout out Coach Lauren for continuing to kill it. She did so well and we stayed in touch that she actually ended up being a coach for us, which has been killer. She's produced numerous amazing transformations and we are so proud of her. But now let's jump into our next question. And our next question is, how do you learn to detach emotional value from the number on the scale?
So this is a great question, and it's something that I get asked quite a bit in different ways, shapes, and forms from listeners, but also clients, right? Because it's so easy to feel like you're just doing the wrong things when the scale isn't moving in the right direction, or you might feel like it's not, and that's something I'm going to talk about. But The first thing is I realize how much it can fluctuate. So I'm actually today going to be posting on our Instagram story the reasons why your weight may be going up and down, or it may not seem like you're making progress from the scale. There's so many different reasons. It could just be holding on to some water. It could be weighing in at a different time. Maybe you didn't go to the washroom at the same time. Maybe you had a bit more salt yesterday. There's so many different things. Like there's 10 plus reasons why it may just not be going down day to day. Now, the thing you need to consider, and what we do in our coaching program, is we calculate the weekly average. And this is where so many people struggle, is they just pick random days to weigh in. They pick random times. They're not very consistent with it. And they're like, it's not going down. And they just beat themselves up. But for us, we see the data and the trends within the graphs we have in the spreadsheet with the average. And even actually, I had a conversation today with a client specifically who was mentioning she was feeling a bit demotivated, thinking it wasn't moving as quickly as it was before. And when I was able to pull out like the actual data and say, hey, listen, here's where we're trending, here's how the averages were before, here's what's actually happening, it made so much more sense, because you can actually see the data week to week consistently going in the right direction. And that's where I think a lot of people are just like really struggling so much, because they don't have that data. And that's why one of our biggest principles is to weigh yourself consistently, put it into whatever it is that you're using. For us, it's a spreadsheet. For our clients, try to just detach yourself as easy it is and just be like, hey, it's just a number. I'm going to use that for progress, and I'm just going to put it in there, and we'll just continue to see what happens. And for us, it's obviously a lot easier, because when the client does that, we're able to give them feedback and make changes for their calories, make adjustments based off of what we see. If you're doing it by yourself, it's still so tricky, because when you see that data, you might just be really hard on yourself. And that's where obviously having a coach comes in handy, and we'd love to work with you, like Josh said. So first link down below. The last thing I'll say is have other things to focus on that's not just scale related. So if you do keep in mind those numbers and you put them into whatever system you're using, but you're also focused on strength gains, your photos, your measurements, those things can be huge motivators, because there are times where maybe things will be a bit sticky. Like we've seen some people who the scale's not going down a ton, but when they do measurements, they're down like 6 inches on the waist. Their strength has gone up 30 pounds to each lift, and they're just crushing it with their photos. Cool, we'll pay attention to those other things. Obviously, the goal is to get the scale down for most people. But when you have other wins and things to celebrate along the journey, aside from just paying attention to the scale, it makes such a big difference. So that's my tangent there. I really hope that helps. And I'm sure Josh has more as well.
Yeah, the more you can detach from it, the better you're off. I've weighed in daily for 10 years, and I've said this before, no one cares what your weight is really but you. All the time you'll hear people say like, oh, I don't want to tell you my weight. And like, it's like, okay, let's say you're 200 pounds. The reality is, I don't care the number. People can see how you look. Like a lot of people be really shy about their weight. Like it's going to save them from people knowing they're out of shape or something. Like generally you can kind of get a premise of whether someone's in shape. And I use the example, I know some people, I have some clients, like some females that are like 6'1" and they're shredded. They look amazing. They look like fitness models, and they're 200 pounds, but who freaking cares? Like they have good muscle. They're tall, look amazing. Your weight's your weight. And it's more of a tool for you to know your ranges. And also this can change a lot. I've said before, I've been 160 pounds and had no muscle in the past. I've been 240 pounds and I've actually had more fat because I did a big bulk. Like they're just different positions and metrics of where you can be. And for a lot of people, they can actually end up at a heavier weight, but be leaner with more muscle, because muscle weighs more obviously. And as you do that, it's a really freeing factor. So within that, weigh in every day, look at your average and use it as a tool, right? And for me, it's a lot easier to do that. It's easier for my clients to do that when they know they can easily change that number. Like for me, if I wanted to be 10 pounds lighter in a month, I could do that. If I want to be 10 pounds lighter in 2 months, I could do that. If I wanted to be 20 pounds heavier, I could do that. Like it becomes really easy when you understand macros and you understand the flows of changing them and the systems and strategies behind it to really produce change. So it's like, to me, it's just something I can adjust, just like I can pick a different color of a t-shirt or something, which is really freeing. I think where people get demotivated is when they see that weight go up. It's a number you don't like, keeps going up, you can't do anything about it. And I think that's where people really shy away from it. And a lot of people won't step on the scale. And I think this is such a mistake, because when you do, if you're gaining weight, it's going to shock you. I've had people, for whatever reason, because we're all into fitness, me and my friends like weighing scales. We have a friend who wasn't as into it, and they'd be like, I'm 180 pounds. And you'd be like, okay, get on. They'd be 210. And they'd be so shocked how they were 30 pounds heavier than they thought they were. But they haven't checked in forever, and like things add up. And that's where for me, if I add up and I'm like, I'm being a little bit soft with what I can do and I need to improve, it's like an auto checking mechanism. It's like a safety fail safe. And just me weighing in allows me to kind of self correct, because we like to be on top of these things. If you constantly see it going up, you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to chill out with some of the food today. So it gives you that opportunity to be really aware and to maintain a healthy weight. And it also removes some of that power over you, that this is some intense number that dictates your worth or your well-being. Some guys don't like being light because they feel like it's like bad, but if you look good and you're healthy and you're fit, and once again, no one cares. Like, that's the real reality. Like, I would be happily 400 pounds if I looked just amazing and better than I do now. I could care less.
Yeah. And honestly, yeah, the biggest thing is just having the person, like, it makes it so much easier to have the person help you. And that's what we specialize in. Like Josh said, I just want to give you a friendly reminder. First link down below, you will get an early access promo. We like to reward action takers. So if you're someone who you're struggling, like even mentally on the journey, a lot of people don't do the stuff they know they need to do because they don't know if it's right. They don't see the results. You know, we always say once you see results, you become addicted. Let us show you guaranteed coaching, and this is the lowest the pricing ever will be. We've actually done a price reduction, and we're going to keep it here just for the first 3 to 5 people. So as soon as you're listening to this, fill that out. We'll know that it's today, the second that you're listening to it, and we'll be able to get back to you to show you how we can help and get you a discounted rate. I promise you, if you wait for the next month, 2 months, next year, it will be at a higher rate. So you're listening to this at the most perfect time ever. You're going to get early access into our challenge, which is going to have thousands of prizes, an amazing community, and we're going to be taking the guesswork out of the process and get you guaranteed results. So can't wait to hear from you. First link down below.
Yeah, stop putting it off. See guaranteed change today, and I look forward to crushing that challenge alongside you. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Fill out that form. We'll make sure a great fit, and we'll definitely look forward to just helping you get your dream body, go from good to great, like we said. And now we're going to jump into our final question of the day, and that is, after being in the gym for so many years, what are some of the biggest common mistakes you see?
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to try to pay attention to just the big things instead of, there's a million small little things, but I'm going to talk about the big movers and what I see often. The first thing is, I'm going to say just cheating yourself. And honestly, like, we've been talking about this, but there's so many ways you can cheat yourself. And like I said before, like, I may not feel motivated for the gym, and there's even sometimes I want to take that shortcut, that extra rep, that extra set, maybe not do the weight that I should be using. Even belt squats today, I'm like, I could do a lot heavier weight and I could get it done quicker and, you know, feel more efficient with like doing a half rep. This is a huge mistake. I see people just cheating themselves in so many different ways. Like, you have so much potential, and I see a lot of people taking the easy way out. They don't like pain. They don't like, you know, pushing themselves. Like, you leave 10 reps left in the tank when you're doing a specific movement because you just think it's good enough and it's not actually good enough. So the first thing I'll say, cheating yourself with half reps, quarter reps, not enough weight, all that stuff. Other thing is just too long or too short of rests. So on one end, there's people on their phone 24/7 having conversations, doing stuff while, you know, talking on the phone, just taking forever. Like if you're doing a heavy powerlifting competition lift or whatever it is, and you're taking 5 minutes, that actually makes sense. But if you're just talking to everyone and you're just not challenging yourself, that's just way too long, and it's just not going to help you progress. And the second thing would be, sometimes people take too short of rest. So if you're coming from a boot camp style workout, class style workout, and you're just supersetting everything, you're rushing from one thing to another, you're not going to be able to progress as much as you'd like to. So that's something to keep in mind. And then the last thing is just doing random machines and just picking a bunch of random stuff. So I see it a lot of times. Like, you can kind of tell I've been in the gym for many years, right? So I could just tell when something's just very random. You walk into the gym, you do some bicep curls, you do some leg raises, and you're just doing a bunch of random stuff. Just stop this. Like, you need to have a customized routine to see progress. And the one thing I want to give you completely free, it's going to be second link down below, because a lot of people, I would say, like, overall, the biggest mistake that I didn't even mention is just form, right? It's just like, you know, arcing your back too much. It's like, you know, not bracing your core enough. It's not keeping your chest upright. It's just like really bad form. And even lat pull down, for example, it's funny because it's such a simple exercise, but I'd say 90+% of people do it wrong. If you want our free guide, it's a 70-page ebook that is going to give you like how to do an exercise. It's going to link to a video. It's going to give you a description. Just message us free guide to Instagram at ColossusFit, COLOSSUSFIT. And there's a bunch of cues, a video, so many different things that can help you out. And we want to give you that completely free, but I'm curious to see what Josh has as well.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. I'll just give three big ones. I mean, I say it all the time, but I wish I got a coach earlier just because instead of figuring it out and like trying to like just imagine you're trying to make a meal and you don't know how to make it. Like I want to make a chicken parm and I don't look up a recipe or something and I'm just trying to find ingredients. I feel like that's how people are with their fitness industry. Whereas if I was like with a chef who showed me how to make it, not only would I know how to make it, I'd make it so good and I'd be so precise and it would be so intentional. Because for me, like I spent a lot of time doing things wrong and I had to learn they were wrong, do them right, learn to push myself. And even with my next two tips or things, obviously I help my clients with. And the biggest thing I see new people in the gym doing is not pushing hard enough. So you'll do your 8 reps, you'll put your weight on there, and it'll be like you probably have 20 reps left in the tank. And that's why I use an RIR system. And I actually call my clients out on this. I'll get a video from them and I'll say, whoa, this is way short. We're like 10 reps short, add this much more weight. And then that tool alone will produce so much more results. If you're not pushing yourself to that position of near failure, and it's not like you need to be at failure, that's an entirely different conversation. But even like gun to your head, 3 reps shy of failure, like at that point, you're going to rip some muscle and produce more muscular growth. If you're really shy of that, you're just wasting your time and you're basically just burning calories and you're just doing cardio at that point. Not quite fully to the point of cardio, but my point stands that you really want to learn to push yourself. And the best way to do that is having a coach or work out with someone a lot more advanced with you because they'll call you out on it and you'll realize what you're capable of. And when you do that, you're going to be way more sore, way more beat up, but you have to embrace that. You kind of got to go through that storm for the first week or so and acclimate through that soreness. Because like I said, people say, how are you not sore? But because I do it so much, it's actually very rare I get sore. I'll get like a little bit sore. I'll be like, oh, I'm a little tight today, but not sore like people that are new to the gym. Because if I were to take time off, which I don't really do, but like after I dislocated my shoulder, getting back into upper body, I'm like, oh, like, it's crazy opening your arms, how sore you are if you haven't done legs in a while. Like it's a beastly soreness and I'm not even used to it because I just work out so hard, so consistently, my body heals and it's really good at responding to that. But if you're new, break through that barrier and you'll see results like 5-10 times faster than everyone else. The other thing I'll say is having goals and actually aiming to meet those goals. Where do you want to be a month from now? Where do you want to be 90 days from now? Where do you want to be a year from now? Like what are you working towards and what do you appreciate? I think people go in there, they want to be muscle, they want to have something like that. Those goals kind of suck. You're way better to find micro goals and macro goals. So a micro goal could be you're like, I can't do a pull-up. I want to learn to do 1 pull-up. By the end of the year, I think it'd be super cool if I did 3 pull-ups. That's going to motivate you. You're going to be excited to get in there and see if you're improving in your pull-ups or not. Then you get frustrated you're not. Then you're going to have to go to the drawing board and learn how you can actually improve that. That's an example of a very small goal, but these strength goals make it more fun day to day to get in there and see if you can actually improve these. Then you can have more macro goals, right? Like big physique goals, wanting to be a certain body fat, wanting to reach a position of leanness, actually achieving a 6-pack or looking really good for a vacation. So I think like setting small and larger goals makes it a lot easier to stick to it and keep showing up and be consistent. So doing those is really, really powerful and making sure you're continually improving. So even if you're getting 1% better each day, you're getting 365% better in a year. And that is a huge method of progression. So if you do those things alongside with what Kyle said as a new lifter, I promise you, you're going to blow everyone else out of the water.
Yeah, it's going to make such a big difference on your journey. So don't forget to message us free guide to get that free personal trainer in your pocket. As a reminder, first link down below, discounted coaching, the best coaching in the world with a guarantee. I promise you, if you're not in our program, you are absolutely missing out. We want to say thank you so much for spending time with us today. If you made it this far and you could actually just share it to your Instagram, in whatever form you can, whether it's a screenshot, whether it's a link, it'd mean the world to us. This is how people find our podcast. It can help us grow. So if you've ever wanted to give back to us, which I hope you want to, that would mean the world. So thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one. Peace and love always.